Sponsored by White Mountain Fire and Life Safety. Today on the show, we have Michelle Adams, the Director of Services and Forensic Interviewer for the Navajo County Family Advocacy Center. Michelle, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I am so excited you're here for two reasons. One, I have so much fun with you. That's number one. And two, what you do is very important. So we want to talk about, for those who don't know and don't realize that we have a Family Advocacy Center, what is it and what does it do?
Okay. All right, so we're the Navajo County Family Advocacy Center. We have an office here in Show Low on the Deuce, and then we have one in Holbrook. And what we do is we are the safe, neutral environment center for children that have been sexually abused, physically abused, drug in danger, or witness to violent crimes. Our location is the first place they come to after law enforcement or DCS gets notice that something is going on. And we're the first place that child comes.
And when the child comes, I guess we should probably get into talking about when did you guys open?
In late 2011.
Okay, and I remember you'd said something like November, right?
Yeah, it was later in the year. So.
Okay, and when you did open, how many cases did you?
Oh goodness, the first year opening, we only saw about 20 kids.
Do you think that's because people didn't realize it was there? That was the main.
And not just that, because our community got so used to not having these resources in this Family Advocacy Center, so we were utilizing sources outside of our county. So if a child had been sexually abused, they were being taken by a police officer or DCS to either Phoenix or to Flagstaff and getting transported there to get a forensic interview done and to get a medical exam. And by the time they got there, they're exhausted and they don't want to talk anymore. So we had this project, and our county attorney, Brad Carlin, had this vision for these centers being developed in our area, and the vision became a reality. And here we are. To date, we've served 891 victims, which
breaks your heart.
Yeah, but we've helped them and have made the process easier than what it would have been if we weren't here.
And you've put away those perpetrators.
Yes.
Do you, and you might not have the exact numbers, I'm not looking at numbers, but before you guys had the Family Advocacy Center, was it very hard to prosecute these people compared to after?
Absolutely, because you're getting these delayed disclosures, you're losing physical evidence, and physical evidence is so important in these cases. So by the time that law enforcement was made aware that there is an allegation, and by the time they were able to get CPS, which now is DCS, involved, then they can transport and get all the parties involved, where now we have a multidisciplinary team on the spot. So if I need somebody from DCS, I'm able to just call and say, hey, we need a team member. If I need an investigator from one of our local agencies or Apache County, we just make a call and say, we need your assistance, or if we need a counselor, or if we need a prosecutor. That's the multidisciplinary team. That's what makes our team so special. And
there's somebody who is basically in that position for all of those departments. So they're not going to send a different person. It's somebody who's involved each time.
Absolutely.
And then you had mentioned Apache County. So who else does Navajo County Family Advocacy Center serve?
And we also serve Apache County, Eager Police Department, Springerville, and Apache County Sheriff's Office, and we assist with their prosecution as well.
Oh, wow.
So, and then we also assist with FBI and BIA cases from up here in White River and Zibique, and then down to San Carlos, Apache Reservation, and also portions of Navajo Nation and Hopi.
Wow. How many people work for the Family Advocacy Center?
At this time, it's just me.
Okay, so there's one person, all right? So, and luckily you do have the other organizations that are able to contribute somebody, but that's helping for that specific job or career that they have.
Yeah, each person has such an important part of the puzzle to be there for these children that are alleged victims of these crimes.
And then that's what breaks your heart. But then on the other hand, you get to stop it from happening.
I do.
You give them a safe place.
Yeah.
And they only have to interview once?
They only have to, unless they have an additional disclosure down the road and they forgot to tell me something the first time, they're always welcome to come back for a secondary forensic interview. But we have been blessed enough to have the equipment to record the first interview. So law enforcement and DCS and other providers that are involved can watch the interview live, and they get a copy of that interview immediately, and that prevents the child from being asked questions continuously that I had already asked, and to prevent further interviews.
That's incredible. So, this interview is going to be, you know, there's going to be smiles because the perpetrators are going away, but there's also sad things to talk about. And one of those things is, how has the numbers increased throughout the years?
Well, we'll have this on eventually, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll give you an example. Bear with me. In 2012, we saw 124, keeping in mind in 2011 that there was only 23 children. Now going to 2013, there's 212 children. Going into 2014, there's 251. And then last year, we had a slight decrease, which is exciting, with 239 children. But now that I'm in 2016, usually the year starts off pretty slow. I've already seen 42 children this year.
And this, we're taping this before it airs, and so this is just January, February, and then it's March 2nd?
March 3rd.
It's March 3rd.
So 3 children, so that's a child a day for the month of March so far.
And I'm sure with the more publicity that we bring to Family Advocacy Center, you always are going to see those numbers spike because we want to get those perpetrators on there.
Absolutely.
But we want to learn how to protect these children in our homes.
Yeah.
And keep this from happening.
And raise the awareness and let families know this exists in our small community. Yes, we're small towns still, and we're, but it exists up here.
Absolutely. And the numbers show it. I mean, these aren't numbers that you're getting from the CDC or anything like this.
These are my personal numbers, that cases I'm seeing come into the center. As soon as a case comes in, I'm recording it.
That just breaks my heart. So, with the Family Advocacy Center, what are the ages of these children? I mean, what are you seeing? Okay,
so we've seen youngest is 2 years old. Okay, for a physical exam, there's been as young as 3 months old.
Oh, man.
But so far in 2016 of children seen, just to give you an idea, the average age right now is 12 years old.
Okay, and what is the average age usually of the perpetrator?
About 25 to 30.
And who are these perpetrators?
See, this is the other thing that people don't understand, is about 85 to 90% of these perpetrators are someone that the victim knows.
So stranger danger doesn't, or even stranger danger, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Because
since I've been in this career, I've seldom see the stranger danger cases. I mean, you'll get once in a blue moon, but these ones are, they go on to telling us the numbers don't lie. And majority of these are, like I said, about 85 to 90%, they know the victim and the victim knows them.
So it's either their father or stepmom or stepdad.
Uncles, or, and there's female aunts, or I've had a few mother perpetrators. It could be anybody that is sexually abusive or physically abusive to these children.
And these kids know them, so then they think, oh, I can't. It'd be easier if it was a stranger, because then they know without a doubt this person does know me.
They trust them. They trust them, and so they trust when they say don't tell anybody, they're not going to tell anybody because they don't want to get somebody that they care about and somebody that they love in trouble.
I am so thankful. My little girl's a rat. She tells on everything, so keep it up.
You raised her well.
Yeah, I'm thinking about she's the one that's always in trouble. Audrey, she runs up to me and tells everything, so I'm thankful for that.
It's a good start.
It's a very good start. But so when the kid comes in, what is it like when they walk through that door? I mean, you're picking them up, or DCS is picking up? How does this happen?
It depends. Every case is so different.
Okay.
So they're either being transported by the Department of Child Safety, or they're being transported by a guardian or a parent, because it's not always the parent,
Yeah.
as we know. So they come in, and by that time, usually the officer may or may not be there, but I'm the first one to greet them, and then I sit them down in the little sitting area. You've got to have the benefit of being there, so you know what I'm talking about. We have a sitting area with a comfortable couch, very neutral atmosphere. It's not like walking into a police department or a hospital or a clinic. Just very neutral and kid-friendly. And they walk in, I greet them, and I let them know that they get to talk to me today, and that they don't have to talk to an officer or the Department of Child Safety, that I'm here for them, and make sure that they know that immediately, that they're not in trouble, they're not,
Oh, good.
you know. And then from there, I let them unwind a little bit, let them play with the toys, or let them go in the playroom, or because sometimes they've been in the car for over an hour because our county is so spread out. So then from there, I finish my paperwork. I get the officers settled into the back room, which is the viewing room. And then I come back out, and I'm able to retrieve the child, and we go in and we just talk. In a forensic interview, a lot of people don't understand the child is the expert. So it's a very open narrative interview. I'm not sitting there asking them any type of direct questions whatsoever. Very open-ended. And it's not like if you're, talking to somebody, you're being interviewed, you're sitting there in their face, or
No.
you're just sitting back and you tell me more about that. And so they continue to feel comfortable.
I saw when I went into that interview room, and it tugged at my heart, and I sometimes I have to step out of there just because I don't want to be emotional. But you actually have a drawing board, and it's at a child's level, and that kind of tugged at my heart, knowing that you have two little chairs here, and this drawing board is at that level, so the child can reach.
It's right in the middle of us, and that also gives the child that opportunity. If they don't want to talk, and they don't want to talk about their private parts out loud, and they don't want to say the words, gives them that opportunity. They can draw it out and express themselves in that way.
Yeah, and so you really cater to the child because you need to.
Absolutely, and that's my job, and that's what I love.
Protecting that.
Yes.
Sweet little baby. That's amazing. And in the Family Advocacy Center, I've been in a couple times, and I'm a huge advocate for what you do. And I'm just so thankful that we have this service here. People need to realize how important this is. I mean, how many people again have you seen since 2011?
Yeah, it's sickening. 891
children.
Yeah.
Between the ages of what, 0 born to.
Yeah. And we, and even in that number, we can have. There's actually a few vulnerable adults even that have been abused in some way that we add into those numbers. Because instead of putting them through and taking them down to the police department, bring them to a neutral atmosphere and let us help them.
Well, and no offense to the police department, but when you go there, you feel like you're in trouble, or you're something's happened, and you want to be able to. You probably get more information.
Yeah, it's just not as comforting when you walk in,
And as a forensic interviewer, the thing that's hard is you can't hold or coddle those children.
I can't.
You have to be very particular about how you interview them. Is there there's set rules, or you just work with the police departments what they need?
And there's a lot of protocols. And when we go through training, and I've been through multiple trainings, whether it's been at the national level, the federal level, through the Department of Justice, or the Arizona level, I've done them all. And they teach you to not sit there and unable to hold them and hug them, and we're there for
getting the information,
to gather the facts.
And that has to be hard to do, but I know that talking to you said it's about getting that person in behind bars.
It is, and once I learned that and realized it made it a lot easier.
Because you're there to help them and facilitate their information so that the adults can understand. I know that, maybe not even a year ago, you had talked about the correct anatomy. And that's hard. And I actually changed.
And that's stuck in your mind.
It did. Huh? Because my kid, honestly, Audrey, ever since she was born, we call it a woohoo. I don't know why. It just came out. And then you had talked about how that was an issue for getting information if they don't know the correct anatomy.
Yeah, if you think about it, if you have a child that's been sexually abused and they're referring to different parts of their anatomy, or the private part, which is most commonly called, and they're calling it, a store name or an object, then when we're trying to figure out sexual abuse and where this is happening, I'm grateful I have diagrams and they're anatomically correct, but they go up and say, so and so hurt my, whatever word they want to use.
Cookie or
cookie or whatnot. Think about it. What is mom really going to pay attention to what's happening?
No. It takes the seriousness out of it.
It does.
I can see that. Yeah, especially now, because it's different if they come up to you and they say that, he touched my vagina, or he touched my butt, or she touched my chest, or whatever it is. That's more like, what? You don't miss that in a conversation.
Yeah.
At all.
Exactly. And it's just so important. I never even would have thought of that when I was, but I could tell you now that I'm a mother and that I see things, you look at things so much differently, what we're teaching our children, and to raise that awareness.
And it's important to be able to teach them to understand that that's not okay, and you can come to me, I'm here. And then on the other hand, the hard part is you have parents that are the perpetrators, and where do we get these kids to go to? The Family Advocacy Center, or a friend or another family member that can see that this stuff is happening, that these kids feel that they can confide in, and somebody can save them from that situation. And that's something that's going to come through educating our community and getting the word out, which is a campaign that we'll be working on and bringing out there.
I'm so excited about. I'm ecstatic.
Well, and that's what this is about. It's about raising awareness. Because do you guys get walk-ins? When people realize that that's there, do you take that? How does that work?
There is walk-ins. It happens. And, we have to notify, we're mandated reporters. We have to notify law enforcement immediately and then proceed from there. But, we don't turn anybody down that comes into that office.
And that's where, and you had talked earlier today in a meeting that's where it's not just family advocacy centers where they're doing the sexual assault cases, but you guys are doing strangulations and other things?
We're extending our services to the higher domestic violence cases. Will be coming in so that they have a more neutral area to come to too, rather than going to the police department. And we finally have 2 nurses now in our area that they also do the sexual assault exams at our office, but now they also have the certification to perform the strangulation kits, which is absolutely incredible to have that resource.
And so this is what the Family Advocacy Center is, putting people behind bars so no one else gets hurt.
Yeah, we're helping. We're saving children, helping families, and saving, individuals, and helping as much as we can.
And you also do like a counseling group, or what is that?
We're just starting a counseling group, so it'll be a group therapy sessions. I have Dr. Prouty from Tucson, who is absolutely incredible, who will be coming up here and helping me, and she'll be conducting these group therapy sessions free of charge for 1-hour sessions for the children, but then also having 1-hour session for the parents or the guardians, non-offending parents,
obviously,
to help them cope as well.
Because it doesn't end for them there. Further abuse ends.
Yeah, we have the first response, but, they need more after our services, because the day they walk into my office with a forensic interview is the beginning of their healing process. But we want to help and, provide further services so that they can keep healing.
Absolutely. And do you get, I don't know if you're allowed to, but after the fact and this is over, maybe it's a couple years down the line, do you ever get to see these kids? Do they come up to you and thank you? Do they know, or is that, nope, it's completely, you disappear from their scene, you came in as an angel with these huge wings, stopping them and protecting them, and making sure the bad person goes away with your group of saviors, and then that's done.
I really like the way you just put that.
That's how I feel.
I really love it. I have not, and now that we're starting in this group therapy session is going to give that opportunity to see how they're doing and how, because usually when they come to this place, it's still a bad memory. I can make it as soft and neutral as possible, but it's still not the place that they want to remember. They don't want to remember me. And, so I won't force that.
Oh,
you know?
yeah, no, I can see that. But through this, it's also to help you, because then it's not just the kids, they stop right then and the perpetrator's gone, and hopefully this isn't going to happen by somebody else ever again. But then that's not the end for it. Now you can watch them grow and get past
Absolutely.
that.
Well, and I get to watch that side, but I also get to watch and keep in touch with the court proceedings with the prosecutor and watch where this goes, and then watch these guys get put behind bars and get sentenced to years and years in prison. And then I get to print out that, mugshot and put it on the famous wall of shame in the Family Advocacy Center to keep.
Now, do kids have to get on the stand, or their CDs enough, or depends?
Every situation is so different.
Okay.
Every case is so different. It depends on rulings in the court, what the prosecutor and the defense argue. Every case I've seen has been unique.
Completely unique, and I'm sure, because there's a lot of different situations out there.
If we do not have to have a child testify, our prosecutors are incredible, and they won't.
I need to send them cookies or something.
They need cookies. They need lots of goodie bags.
Because one of the things that people constantly think is in this place is everybody points the fingers. Oh, it's not in my town. It's not in my town. But I saw your wall of shame. There's Pine Top, Heber, Show Low, Snowflake, Taylor. I mean, all over that this is happening.
It's not just one area.
No.
And people can sit there all day, but as
teachers,
we said,
doctors,
and numbers don't lie.
No, and they're your numbers.
Yeah, they're mine. I created them myself.
You're not. Yeah, you have, and you have the case to back them.
And legally,
time.
I have to keep the stats of, because we have to generate a governor's report every year, and it's mandatory by statute. So I have to keep track of my numbers, and that's why I shared these with you. Of course, there's no identifying information on them or anything of that sort, but it gives you the numbers and the ages, and it's clear as day. It exists up here. It's a huge problem up here, and we're here to raise awareness and get these numbers, keep it going down.
And you're here to make no more hurt for the kids. I mean, it's once they meet you, it stops. They walk through that door and they don't have to be put in an uncomfortable position anymore. They're done with that. They're actually, like you said, they start the healing process. And that's huge, especially for these children who are anywhere from infant to, I'm sure it's 17 years of age it goes to 17 years for underage, and then after that, with the rape kits and anything like that.
And even then, I mean, you can get the older teenagers that just are terrified. They don't want to feel comfortable talking to an officer. If we don't have a female officer that's able to respond to talk to them, they even come to me,
Well, and you're very
law enforcement
nice.
knows that they can call me on my cell phone any time of the day. I'm on call 24/7, 7 days a week.
And it's just, that's the thing that's hard, though. This is you working for Family Advocacy Center. We need to get Family Advocacy Center more support when it comes to hiring power. We need to hire some more people in there. You're on call 24/7. 365 days a year.
I am.
That's the fire department's not on call there because they have people coming out and switching shifts with them. So what would it take? What kind of person do you need to be able to do this? I mean, besides you, how can we recreate you out there so we can get somebody else in there?
Are they cloning now?
Yeah, I know. Because that's what we need. Because this is tough.
It is.
This is heartbreaking.
But there's those things that keep me going, and it's when I get to see these children, and after talking to them telling me they feel so much better to get this off their chest. I mean, you have children that have kept this a secret for a year to 5 years. I had a case where she had held it in for about 10 years, and she was abused when she was younger.
Yeah.
I mean, and then I always ask, how do you feel talking about this? And now that we're in here and you're finally getting it off your chest, how do you feel? She's like, and when they tell me they feel so much better and so relieved. And I look at them and say, well, I know I've done my job. And that's what keeps me going.
It's giving them somebody, get it off their chest and letting them know it's not going to happen anymore.
Yeah.
10 years. Oh my gosh. I mean, how can people not see this? And that's what I hope to get from the trainings we're going to do.
Yeah.
Making it, 10 years, the kid had to have been by other people. How do we not see the signs?
It's what about the people that choose not to see the signs, though?
And ignore it altogether.
Well, it could be so many things.
Well, I think if we get enough advocates of people who are educated on the signs, somebody's going to see something. Somebody's going to know sometime.
Absolutely.
And we're going to do that through our training with Amy Lang, and and Family Advocacy Center. All of the proceeds will be going to Family Advocacy Center, which we're very excited about.
Yes, thank
I
you.
think everybody needs to give their money to Family Advocacy Center. I know that church tithings and Family Advocacy Center tithings. That's what we need to start raising awareness for, especially to get you some people so you can take a break here and there, especially with the baby coming. You need to take a break. But with Amy Lang, information will be coming out. We'll end up sharing that to people, and they'll know a little bit more about it. But it is empowering parents to protect their children.
Incredible. It's going to be absolutely incredible.
And we will always advocate for Family Advocacy Center. Michelle, thank you for everything that you do with Family Advocacy Center. We have your back.
Thank you. It means more than you know.
And thank you for watching Safe and Sound, and we'll see you next month.